Right, let's see what's going on. Hope everybody's getting in here now. I see some people already here, so I don't know if we're live yet. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend. Got back from Florida Sunday. So let's see who's on here so far. I'm hoping that everybody can hear this right now. I'm not for sure if we're live yet. But anyway, well, I'll go through who's here right now. Pop says you're live, so that's good. Got Forrest here. What's up from Idaho? Deborah's here from Arkansas. Easy. Chris is from California. What's up, Chris? Rebecca's from Tennessee. It's my wife, my dad, it's Pops, David, and says we're live. So, like I said, I hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend. Let me wipe this camera off. I don't know. Hopefully everything's looking good. Been a busy couple days since we got back. We got back Sunday evening. And so, anyway, West Texas Cars and Cars, what's up? And Ricky. I see that Ricky's here too. I hope everybody can hear me. All right, let me turn the volume up on this just a little bit. And it looks like everything seems to be working now. And so, anyway, I've got some stuff on our list here that I did lay out. And I found some cool stuff. I got a chance to go to a diecast show I hadn't ever been to before down in Florida. It was put on by KPS Hobbies down there. Really cool show. I'll release it this Thursday. It won't be like our normal release. I don't go by everybody's table and scan it on this one. I was just trying to see. It's a new show I've never been to. I didn't know a lot of the people, so I got to meet a lot of the vendors there, which was awesome. I did know a couple of them, which is the ones that told me about the show to begin with, and people that put it on. But anyway, on my list, I had some crack ups here, so I pulled out some of the crack ups over here to go over. I also pulled out the flip outs. I pulled out some of the flip out. Actually, I pulled out every flip out except for my loose ones. I got a couple loose ones, so we can see how those work. Found some cool stuff. We'll go over that stuff first. Let's go over here and see what we've got going on in the chat, and then we'll get started on what we found this weekend at that show, and we'll go over the flip outs. And we'll go over the crack ups, or try to anyway. So, Tool Time, what's up? Mid-Century Monsters, what's going on? I've been messaging you some back and forth. I didn't get back with you yesterday. It's been a hectic trying to get this ready, but I'll message you a little bit later. He's looking for a D50 in blue with basic wheels, the high wrecker. So, I'll be on the lookout for that if we can find one for a decent price. So, anyway, his first show here. So, welcome him in. So, we'll go ahead and get started here. I did not find anything for our Beat 16, but we can go over that, where we're at on that later in the show. Some of the new people that's not here, we're doing a big Beat 16 challenge, trying to get the first 16 Hot Wheels for under $100. Right now we're 6 in. We've still got 10 to go with $61.50 in our budget left. But check this out. We talked about these on our lives a while back, and I found some in the package. The Creepsters. I'm not 100% who first said something about these, but you remember I had the loose one here, and then at that show I happened to walk up and the guy had a couple of them there on his table. And so now I'm going to try to get the full set, obviously. I need to adjust that light. Looks like I got a lot of light. I've got a light ring in front of me. I'll try to adjust it, but those are cool. I hadn't seen them on the package before. They're by Playing Mantis. They're not, they don't say Johnny Lightning anywhere on them, but they have the Johnny Lightning wheels there. So, but anyway, sorry to be all over the place there, but there's a good and an evil set. So I'm going to try to buy all of those, eventually get a collection together. But I really want them loose more than I want them in the package. So now that I got a good and an evil in the pack, I'm just going to get them all loose, hopefully, from now on. So I'll put them back down here. Let me get you on the chat, Rick. Let's see on the chat real quick, and then we'll keep moving. What's up, Rico, Bobby, Wasabi? Oh, it's all good, buddy. It's there for the replay, and we'll just keep moving. Like I said, if there's anything y'all want to talk about more, put it in the chat. It's fine, and we'll go on over some of the other stuff I picked up. Here's something that I didn't know anything about. I went into Target. I don't know if y'all might know about this or not. Let me adjust this light a little bit because it looks like there's too much light. But anyway, y'all know anything about this? I found it at Target, and evidently it's a Matchbox Red edition, and it's the only one that's on the peg that was that color. All the other cards look like that, and then this one was just hanging there with them, and thought it was different. I didn't even know they had Matchbox Red editions, and that's exactly what ended up. So that's what I ended up finding, and thought that was cool. Those are pretty cool. So be on the lookout for them if you hadn't seen them yet. Evidently, they're basically like Hot Wheel Red editions, but they're for Matchbox at Target. All right. So just something cool to check out. My wife wanted we've been wanting one of these since we heard about them coming out from the Experimotors there. It's the Quick Chat. I don't know if y'all are finding them or not, but first one I've seen. So I got it for her at that show down there at the KPS Hobby Show, and it looks just like the the original phone here. And so I had to go ahead and get that for her. So I thought that was awesome. So I picked that up. She'll put that up somewhere, I guess, in her office or something. But I'm gonna pick up another one. Let's see. Let's get back over here. The Playboy cars. Another cool line from that era. I never collected those much on those, Rico. The light's good. Pop says, all right. Target edition. Yeah, I found that out later. What's up, Miniature Mustangs? And then something pretty cool I did find. I know the package is not great, but this is a Color Racers 2, and this is a foreign pack. You can see the English and the foreign writing there on that, and the Color Racers 2 of the 55 Chevy. Like I said, it's trying to get your lights up there, but you can see it's from 1989. But I thought that was cool, and so I went ahead and picked that one up. And I did get also got this. This is on a foreign pack also. This is the Top Speed. I was wanting to get some of these. I'd like to get some of these to go with that track set that I got the other day. Remember we talked about it? That I'd picked up. And I just like that odd line. It's got like a hook on the bottom. And that was one that I can put with it to make a cool display. I like to get a little bit of, a little bit of the odd, stuff on the side. We'll pick that up, which was really cool. Let's see. Let me get back to chat real quick. Hit that like. I appreciate that, Rico Bobby. Wife said she wants a phone. Yeah, the phones are really cool. I'm going to obviously, I think everybody's going to buy as many as they can find for a while. That's the only one I got. I got it at the show. I went ahead and picked it up for a wife, but I'm hoping to get another one. I'm going to open one. That one's not going to be open, I'm sure. So, and then, oh yeah, found a cool era guy had there. This is let me open it up so you can see it better as we get going here. Here's a 2000 treasure hunt of the Lakester, and if you look there, the whole back wheels are missing. No back wheels at all, which was cool. Talked to the guy about it. He was 87. I believe he said he was 87 years old. Might have been 82. Don't misquote me. Anyway, he had said he found this on the peg in 2000. I talked to him for a while. He's starting to clear out some of his collection, and I thought that was really cool era, so I went ahead and picked it up. And also picked up this 5-pack there because there's an error right here on, well, there's actually 2 errors in this package, but there's an error here on the delivery. The whole front end tilt, the inside is collected and the other side is not, so it's kind of tilted up so it won't shut. And then this one, if you took it out of the package, you could probably get that wheel unjammed, but the wheel is completely jammed up between the car and the body. I'm sure if you took it out of the package and pulled on it, you could probably get it out of there. But that one was cool, so I went in and picked it up. $5. I wasn't going to pass it up. And then while I was in Target, I found that red edition of the Matchbox. I also went ahead and picked up the new Tune 5-pack. I hadn't seen this yet. I needed the 83 out of it. Sorry, the light's blaring on there, or at least maybe it ain't. But I needed that 83 tuned in there. So these I don't need. I'll open it for this. My next week's video will be an opening video. I've actually got a bunch of stuff over here I've got to get open. And also picked up another gasser 5-pack because we're going to open that for the 55 gasser and the hauler that goes with it. They got some really cool pieces in that set. But I went ahead and picked up another set of those. Trying to think, a couple other things we did pick up. I'll see where we're at on the chat real quick. Top speed cars were peg warmers. Yeah, I agree. They were cool. They were peg warmers back in the day. I believe that. Everything that's got clearanced out now, they're getting crazy prices, like the Acceleracers and the World Race cars and all that. They clearanced that stuff way out. Now they're just crazy. Now the top speed stuff, I hadn't found a lot of it, but I would like to put a few pieces together. I'm slowly trying to work on getting stuff straightened around down here. We did it a couple of weeks over there, and I just don't have enough room to kind of do what we're wanting to do on the channel, so I just moved it back and tried to straighten this area up for a minute. Still haven't got the case fixed, obviously, but that's where we're at right now. Let's see. I mentioned those a few shows ago. Forrest said. Chris says he had the 5-pack with no errors. Yeah, that 5-pack's pretty cool. Can't find that gasser set yet. Yeah, they're in the new shippers. Evidently, I found the tune and the gasser. The one I'm missing that I'm wanting is the one with the duck in it now. I think if I find it, I'll be in good shape. I picked that up, gasser 5-pack this week. Awesome. What's up? Woody's in the house. Who that? My wife spotted your ceramic smiley on the motorcycle last week in the background shelf. She collects them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got quite a few of those ceramic smileys. But that one's my favorite by far, and I said the one on the motorcycle. Picked up the Tune 5-pack a few days ago. I collected Camaro Silverado, surfed one. Yeah, it's a cool set. I did collect the Camaro for a long time, but then I ended up selling that casting. And like I said, I do all the 83s because my son's got a real 83 that we've restored. And so that's another reason why I like the 83s. Everybody's saying hello to everybody, so we'll get back over here. Oh yeah, I did buy a few Matchbox. I'm not big on buying Matchbox, but I mean, this one was awesome. This is a Volkswagen Baja Bug with T-tops. It's called the Sand Digger, and that thing was cool. I hadn't seen this casting before like this with the T-tops, and so I went ahead and picked it up. And this one's from 1983. Yeah, 1983 there. Pretty cool. So I picked it up, and then I went ahead and picked up a couple of more in the package. These were on the dollar table. This was that Rottweiler I had the other day loose. I was telling you, if you're a Georgia fan, you should probably rip that open, have it on your desk, I would think. And then the Willie Street Rod there, and both of these are from 1994. So I picked those up on dollar table. I couldn't pass them up for that. Just something cool. And that's kind of most of the stuff. I picked up a few other dollar cars. I picked up quite a few 55 gassers. And because I'm just going to pick up all the 55 gassers for $1 a piece. People do too many customs with them, or if I ever do customs with them, it'd be nice to have enough because they're not really went down in price much. But when I find them for $1, I'm going to pick them up. So anyway, I believe, and then I also bought another duck and roll on the dollar table. I'm going to buy all the duck and rolls I can find on the dollar table. Everybody really likes that. Also bought another Formula 5-pack. I've got a buddy said he was looking for the Formula 5-pack, so I did buy that one too. I'm trying to think if that's everything that I bought while I was down in Florida. And then I started getting stuff together to do the crack ups, and I've pretty much got 3/4 or so of the crack ups out on display. Every one of these is a different variation. I've got more loose ones. This is just some of the better. What I'm trying to say, I've got more loose ones. I just don't know where they all are right now, but this is a reputation of pretty much at least an example of every one of them. And then I also got some in the package. I try to get some representation of each of the packaging. And I've got some more in the pack behind there stacked. And then I've got all the flip outs on American card and on foreign card. And all these are foreign card. That's full set in foreign card and American card. So we'll go over them in just a second. So we'll get caught up and see where we're at. Let me get back over here to the thing. Wife wants your hat. Yeah, this is an old hat. I've had these. I've got a couple of these. I've had these for a few years. Appreciate it. VW is my brand. Rico's saying that's cool. Yeah, that was a cool VW. I do collect a few VWs. I like those. Can't see them back there, but I collect all the combis. I did, and now I kept the VW drag buses, and then I do the T1s and T2s trucks. Seen the SpaceX Matchbox last week, but didn't buy it. Prime truck, finally. That's cool. Yeah, we got some Prime trucks back here. That's the unspun and the other. I'm trying to work out a deal with another fella on Facebook on one of the groups. He's got a couple of eras of the Optimus Prime, and I think we're going to try to work out. I'm going to trade him some my old crash ups that I've got extras of for those, which is pretty cool. I'm always down for trading for errors if I like them. So easy, she wants Ron Johns. I can make that happen when we go back to Florida. Yeah, Rebecca can definitely see if we can hook it up. We go back to Florida. I believe we go back in September. I don't know. September and October or something like that. No, maybe it's August. I don't know. I have the brown Rottweiler and the black one with the red collar. That's cool. I didn't know there was a whole lot of different ones. Oh, she's saying if we get one, we'll send it with me in October. Awesome. I buy a Matchbox if I think it's cool. Doesn't open very often. Yeah. Just a few Matchbox I bought. Trades of the way. Yeah. Yeah. August and September we'll be back down in Florida again. So anyway, what we'll do first, I think, is we'll go over the flip outs. I'm not 100% sure who was talking about flip outs and those crack ups, but it's going to take a minute to go through both of them. But the flip outs basically is, let me see if I can show these. This might be the easiest way to show them. Let me grab. So this is a foreign card, and then this is the foreign card. It's short compared to the long card of the American card. But they're the exact same car, obviously, but just in two different packaging. And this is the full set and then this is the long card. The problem with these cards is a lot of these got damaged. Of course, those were clearanced out also back in the day. And you can see how much longer they are than the regular ones. And this is this one's called the capsider there. Looks like to me, it looks like an Astro van. I know these come out way before the Astro van, but I think that's what they look like anyway. Maybe Ford looked at it and said, hey, let's make a van that looks like that. So that's the capsider. And then let me see the easiest way to go through these. This one is called the Vaultin Van. I think this one to me was the most popular back in the day, or at least I could remember. And you can see there the American version was a little bit longer card. And then your foreign version there is kind of hard to read. And then the backs of them kind of gives you your instructions still. And that was probably the most popular one, or the one that seemed like I recognize and I see a whole lot more than any of them. These were a 1-year release, and this is the whole set. Next, which is really cool, we got the this is the Camaro to me always, but this is the road flipper. There you go, in American card and in the foreign card both. And those are really cool. The hard to display or actually protect these long cards because there's nothing. I mean, there might be somebody that's making them now, but there's not a whole lot out there to protect them. You have to buy that long sleeve 5-pack, and I think it'll hold like 3 because of how long they are. Here's the red version, and this is the flipper snapper. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but like I said, there's only 8 in the full set. Now, what's funny is that when we get to this next one, I don't know where my long card version of this is. I must have got put in another box because I do have it. I brought a loose one out so you can kind of see how they work, but there's the foreign pack. Now, my long card, I don't know where it's at right now. Let me move these last 2. We'll go over them last. And, of course, I dropped one, and that's not good because, you know, that's what happened to all of them. It's in the corner. Now, these are based off the Nissan 200 SX, and this is the drag flip is what this one's called. And then, so that's that red version. I'll show you the bottom of that one here in a second, those 2 to see how they work. Then you got your black police car. This is called the Flip Buster in black there. Like I said, the long and the short card's pretty cool. Once you get all 8 of them, I mean, you've got the set. I prefer them loose. I do have them loose, but they're not as in good shape as they are in the package, obviously. So it's like, I don't want to open these packages because they're getting harder to find. I'm definitely not going to open the foreign packages. They're really nice shape. They're unpunched. But there you go. There's the last one here in the full set of 8. And this one's called the Flip Roaring. Anyway, pretty cool. Like I said, they're getting harder to find, especially in the package. So that's the full set of American and the foreign packages of these. I'm going to move these and put these down so they don't get messed up or anymore. Said I'm going to have to try to find something to display them in or at. Then we'll go over the bottoms of these. Let me look at this real quick, see where we're at on our chat before we get into anything else. Something on the bottom flips, yeah. Let's see if you can see that there. The bottom right here, you've got a little piece here that push down and it flips over. And then whenever it flipped over, it's like this normally. And then whenever it hits something, you can hear it pop and then it snaps back, makes the car flip up. Kind of hard to see without running into something. But that's what happens. It's a spring-loaded deal. And it rolls. And it hits something and it flips back. Flips it up. And then there's the side flip. There's 2 different flips. That's the straight flip. And then there's the side flip. I don't know if y'all can see that one or not. But this is the same deal. It's got a little spot here. You can kind of flip it over. And then there's a little thing laying down here. And as soon as it hits something, it flips and it flips it sideways. So they're called flip outs. They made them 1 year. That's the full set of 8. And kind of neat. You'll see that, to me, now y'all might see different ones everywhere, but I see the white van more than I see any of them out, usually. And it's usually loose, but anyway, that's the flip outs. Rico says the crack ups, but the flip over when active. Yeah, Red, first time here on a live show. Just finished you one last week. I really enjoy it from Central Florida. Awesome, Red. I just was down at Central Florida this week. This Forrest said had read lots of info for collect. Oh, yeah. He's saying if you was a Hot Wheels flip out, I'd be the flipping. uh, Welcome in, Red. Everybody's welcome, Red. I'm glad to see you in here first time. It don't matter. It's just we're here just to all have a good time. Just trying to pass on some info of what we got going on, and that's kind of what we're doing here. Talk about whatever y'all want to talk about, diecast, toy wise, whatever. But anyway, Deborah says I've been flipping over. Fall. I am flipping out mini flips. The racetrack set is hard to find. I agree. I don't have the racetrack set of the flip outs. I don't have it at all. And that's something that I'll have to start hunting for, evidently. Now, the Crack Up set I do have the set from when I was a kid. Crash Ups was probably one of my favorite Hot Wheels ever to play with. I had the Crack Up set, remember, with the, this one's still in the plastic, but this, remember it had the, I call it the Monte Carlo. Some people call it a Buick Regal, but I call it a Monte Carlo. And this is the test car. Anyway, that's track set come with this. I should have tried to dig out my set. I know the box is rough, but I may have it over there somewhere, but I can't dig it out right this second. I've got a big mess over that side. So anyway, we'll go move on to the Crack Ups if everybody's wanting to. We talked about Crack Ups last week. See if I can move this camera. I want to show you. You don't see these carded Crack Ups very much. This is an American version of the small card, and this is a foreign version. I don't know if y'all can read that there. It says Metal Druckus, and then of course it's got your Crack Up there, and everything is in foreign writing on the back. This is cool to be unpunched and stuff. And this package has come out in 1984, so this was not 85, first year of the Crack Ups. And then that's the back of the American version there. You can see the kind of the difference there. I don't know if I can get it without the blind, but the biggest difference on the front, you can see this one says diecast metal, and that says Metal Druckus. I don't know, but kind of cool. Two different cars there, and I'll set them there for a second. Then you can see this is more of the cards a lot of people remember. You've got some different cardage years there. You can see the differences in those cards. And then, of course, you had your blue card, blue and black card there. Was the last year of the Crack Up cards, and I believe the last year was 86. I think they run these for 2 years. Maybe it was 3 years. Maybe they run them for 3 years. But we've got an example of pretty much all of them. Now, we don't have every variation. Obviously, there's a lot of variations. Here's a few more carded ones here. And, well, if I can reach them, I've got a few more carded ones also on top of that back there. Let me see if I can get to them. I have more of these somewhere in another box, more carded ones. I went heavy on the Crack Ups years ago. I was hunting them forever. And it took me a long time to get at least an example of each one. There are some variations I'm still missing. There's some French variations I'm missing. And there is some that are in 2-pack Stanford packs that I don't have also. But we can go over some of those in a minute. Now let's go back to before we go over every Crack Up. This is an example of every casting that they made of a Crack Up. For some reason, I don't know where my loose ones of the big rig, the wreck and rig is. So those must be up there with the rest of the. I've got some more loose ones somewhere. But let's look through here real quick and see where we're at. We'll get caught back up. The racetrack said it's hard to find. Yeah, that's where I was at. Where's Carl? I don't know where Carl's at. He probably show up here in a little bit. Randy usually show up in a little bit. We'll see. Um, Good evening to all. Randy, hey, Randy is here. Now I see you here, Randy. What's up, buddy? Um, Eddie's here. Um, Definitely does. Let's see the D50 again. Oh, the D50 is up there. Are you talking about the crack up D50? Well, it's not a D50. It's called a. This is called the backbiter in red. And the funny thing is my loose ones. None of them have a camper on it. Now I have some. I got at least one example with a camper loose up at the shop somewhere. I just got to find it. That's the bumper thumper. But the D50 he's looking for is up there that we were talking about earlier. Uh, I'll grab it real quick and then we'll get back over to the crack ups. This is the D50 that he was looking for. It's a Blackwall high racker. And this one's pretty tough for him to find, and it is a tougher piece. I believe it's tougher than a real rider sometimes, especially to find in pretty good shape. But that's what he was talking about. This, I don't know, they just call this the pickup, which they call it the bumper thumper, but it's called the pickup most of the time. You kind of see it's kind of got the same kind of theming on the side and stuff. Pretty cool. Oh, but anyway, that's the casting that they were looking for. So anyway, I'll put this back over here and we'll get back over to the crack ups. Let me get back into the chat, then we'll get back to the. Let's get back over here to the chat real quick. Somewhere I have black van that pops a wheelie. Don't know the brand it is. Okay, not for sure. Teresa, hey, what's going on? Teresa Smith, see you in LA. Yeah, I'll be in LA. Apologize for not being active in the chat. Lots of distractions going on. It's all right. Don't worry about it, Woody. Just sit back and relax and enjoy the shows the way I say it. Not sure if you have many of either, but how about shift kickers and scorchers? I do believe I've got a full set of both. I'm going to write them down and I'll dig them out for next week. I'm going to write them down right now for shift kickers. I love the shift kickers. Scorchers. I don't know if I've got all the scorchers. I know there's a lot of variations on scorchers. But I do have some examples of some of them, so we'll try to bring those out next week. I got those wrote down. Let me go down the chat. Few scorchers. That's cool. Crack up D50. Never seen that one. Got to find them. Aggravating with all the distractions. It's all good. You can rewatch it, Woody. No big deal. The crack ups are awesome. Brad says, "Hey, what's up, Brad?" Mini truck fanatic here. The D50 is another favorite. Yeah, I'm a big mini truck guy too. I'm into the Nissan hard bodies and the mini truck. Found some of those when I was going through finding this stuff. I found some of my mini trucks that I was missing. Got the high racker D50 with real riders. Yeah, we've got that. I think I've got most of them. I'm missing the R-Mart version, but or the Mexican version, but I do have, I believe, most of the high rackers. Need that to complete the run, Mid-Century Monster says. Old school mini trucks here. Still have a few I'm building now. Awesome. It's got a 81 720 and a square body S10. That's really cool. So we'll get started on the crack ups. We'll go through them real quick and we'll do a quick rundown. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 7 here, and I know I'm missing one of the colors, are all the same casting with different names. The white one is called the Smackback, is what it's called. Of course, if you collect crack ups, you're almost got to. It was pretty rare to find them in good shape, so you're going to find them mostly like this, where they've been played with. But that's what they were made for back in the day. So finding crack ups, you almost got to rip them, or find somebody, I guess, that really enjoyed that casting to have them up on the shelf. But anyway, the first one there is called the Smackback, and it's supposed to be based off of a Nissan 200 SX, but that looks a whole lot different than a Nissan 200 SX on the flip out. They're supposed to be named, modeled after the same car. They don't look nowhere near the same to me, but it's what they're saying that they're modeled after. Anyway, there's the first one there. The next one is called the Smash Hit, and it's a green, and I'm missing the back for it. Of course, you can see the way it flips over. This is the Speed Crasher that's in red here. It's missing the back also. Not bad shape other than the back's missing. A lot of these, the backs did tear up because they were plastic. Then the next one here, you got your black with your flames. This one's called the Slammer. And then here's one that's actually got a back. I should have showed you that on the first one here. And this blue one here is called the Super Dinner. And basically, it's just a plastic flap. You can see how they're worn. You can see how white they get. If you use them very much, they're going to eventually break in half. See if I can get this one to snap shut. It may or may not snap shut. This one's not wanting to snap shut. I don't want to break the back end off of it, but anyway. And then this one here, a little bit tougher to find. This one actually come out of a Stampers 2-pack, the Stamp 2-pack, whatever. And this one's called the Ringer. And then this last one here, it's in really good shape, surprisingly, and it's got the back on it. This one's called the Rear Ender, and it'll flip around. You can see that it flips shut. Whenever you hit something with it, it opens up and turns around there. So that one works out. That one works pretty good. So anyway, that's the first casting there. The next casting, I think they're called these. A lot of people call these mid-engine, but I don't know why they were called mid-engine, because the engine's in the rear to me. But what do I know? Mid-engine would be the motors in front of the back wheels, I'm guessing. I don't know. Let me look at the chat before we keep moving on, because I don't want to miss anything. Big shout out to you and your channel for one of the shows you did. I had someone reach out to me. Thanks. Awesome. Appreciate it. Would you like to see all your mini truck Sonic special castings? Yeah, I'll be right down mini trucks, so I'll try to get those together. We did one a month ago or so. Pulled out a lot of my Nissans, because I collect the Nissans. I worked for Nissan for 20 years. And then my son's going to go to work for Nissan starting next week, I believe it is. So, which is pretty cool. I retired from there after 20 years. So, let's see. Maybe more of the 300ZX. Yeah, I agree with you. They call it. I think it should have been a 300ZX. I don't know. Hair splitter hood. Have someone make you 3D parts for those. You're going to be at the Indy Hot Wheels show. I don't know if I'm going to make it up to Indy. When is that show? Let me know, because I don't know if what I've got on my calendar. My wife is the calendar, by the way. To be mid-engine, the motor should be in front of the back axle. So maybe it's just over the back axle. Maybe it's right in front of the back axle. That's what I was thinking. So it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe it is. But anyway, we'll get back to this casting. This is the Sports Crasher. And the reason there's two of them is because you have a Hong Kong base. I don't know if y'all can see that there. Hey, there's still a price sticker kind of left on that one. And then there's your Malaysia base. So two different bases on some of these. So you got to kind of watch out for that. There seems to be a lot of color swings I've noticed on these. I didn't pull out all the color swings, but I did pull out Malaysia and the Hong Kong base because those have a slight different tint to the. Then here's your yellow version, and it's got the same paint job as the black, but it's in yellow. I'm sorry, it's got the same casting as the black. Of course, it's in yellow, and this one is actually called the Basher, and it clicks in the front. Of course, you rotate the front around, put the hood down, and then whenever you hit something with it, it cracks. Which I think everybody loved the crash ups back in the day. So everybody wanted to crash up their cars. Then we've got our I guess this is a blue version. Here's, I think, the color that they're going to call that one. And I'm not for sure what this blue one was called. Was it Smash Mob? I think this one's called the Smash Mob. Or maybe the other one's called the Smash Mob. No, maybe these are called the Smash Mob. This is the red version of the blue. And there again, there's a Hong Kong base and a Malaysia base. I can't remember the blue's name. If y'all remember the blue's name, put it in there in the chat so I can remember it. This one was called the Smash Mob. And then you got the red one here. That's all the same. Like I said, all these are the same. And it's called a stock smasher. Same thing. You close your hood there and it hits in the front, circles around. For some reason the hoods are on most of these. I guess people didn't play with those as much. Then we get into like your taxis. They call it the service car, or I call it you can call it the police cruiser, whatever you want to call this one. This one is your taxi, but you've got it with and without your taxi on the actual car. And both of these are called the Super Blaster. And if you look there, like I said, they are the exact same, except for one doesn't have the taxi and the other one does. And this was a known variation. And then you've got your Hong Kong base and a Malaysia base there on those. Swing this door around on that one. You can see the door there. Of course, it gets hit and it cracks. And then this one's the same way. Like I said, the same tampos, except for this one doesn't have the top tampo. And that's the variation on that one. Here's your white police cruiser here. And this one's actually called the Crash Patrol. And it's got your door there that flips over. This one's actually in really nice shape. And then you flip it over. It looks like somebody might have played with it one time. Got a couple little chips in it, but it is a tough piece. Then these right here are kind of funny because I ain't found a ton about the two different ones, but these got two different colors. And you can kind of see the two different blues on the side and the way the state police is written. And then, of course, this has got a Hong Kong base. And this one here has a Malaysia base. But both of those are the light blue version. And glad to have both of them. Like I said, it might be just a color swing. And these are called the Fire Smasher. These are called the Crunch Chief. I don't know why they call it the Crunch Chief. I guess but that's what that one's called. And these last two are actually called the Fire Smasher. They're both red. And as you can see, just like the taxi, one does have the fire on the front and one doesn't. You can see there on the side. And those are both called I figured you would call this one the Crunch Chief, but these are the Fire Smasher. Kind of reminds me of the Fire Chief Hot Wheel. Anyway, let me get back to the chat and then we'll get back over to the crack ups. Let's see if we can get back over here and see where we're at. Simple Customs by Eddie. What's up, buddy? Let me see. Maybe I went back too far. Love your videos and diecast collection. Appreciate that, Devoje. Sorry, I don't know if I said that right. VW Bug or Corvair would be rear engine. I agree, but I think well, obviously the Volkswagen Bug is behind the rear engine, so but the Corvair is actually over I don't know. But anyway, just picked up the RLC 720 with the dancing bed, cool casting. Had to have, yeah. It's sitting back there, well behind all this junk. You can kind of see it peeking out. See if I can move it. You kind of, and of course I'm gonna drop everything. It is what it is. It's back there. I'll try to get those out this week, or I'll try to get most of that mini truck stuff out this next week. We'll talk about some of that. The 19th of this month at Pike High School in Indianapolis. Let me write it down. I don't know. My wife knows more about what's going on when, and it's in. Let me write down that show real quick. Sorry, don't want to hold everybody up. But if I don't write it down, I might forget about it. 19th of July in Pike High School in Indianapolis. All right, so I wrote that down. Indiana. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. Cool to see example of these. I remember playing with a lot of these. Somebody says the Fiero. Yeah. Blue was the Smashmobile. Okay. Smashmobile. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, they are different on the cop cars. I agree. Crack ups hard to collect in good shape off the card they were always played with. They're always cracked up. I agree with you. And then we'll go on to, this is my favorite casting in crack ups. I would leave the truck may have been close to my favorite, but I believe my favorite is going to be the next casting here. To me it's the Monte Carlo Stalker. A lot of people call it a Buick Regal. I don't know, but I call it the Monte Carlo Stalker, stock car, whatever y'all want to call it. But anyway, this is the hood dasher that's in maroon. And of course, it's the same thing. I liked it because it had a metal hood. So most of the hoods are on these. Of course, it hits and then it blows the hood open. Then you got the white one called the Knock Stalker in white. And that's a little bit tougher to find. It seems like the Zap. I don't think I've got a better example of this one. And this one's pretty rough. But it is what it is. When I went looking for them after I got one, I kind of marked it off. So, and then here's the other red one, the Z50, and this one's called the front ender, and it's not too bad a shape, but like you said, any of them that you find, just about, it's going to have a few dents and dings in them, even if they only play with it once or twice. As soon as you smash them together. Then my absolute favorite crack up of all time, this one's still in the package even though it's in rough shape. This one come out of the playset, and I have this playset here, and this is called the Crash Test Vehicle, which come out of the playset. So, and this one's still in the baggie, and I picked this one up at the convention in Atlanta, I believe, because I didn't have one in this shape. I've always been looking for one in the package, but they're so tough to find. Mine is beat all to pieces. I should have brought mine out. I believe it's over in a case over there, or it's over in my blue case. I'll have to find it. But I do have my track set over there somewhere. I'll have to dig it out too. Simple Custom says, do you have any Thunder cycles for sale? Need a few with the yellow and blue rider on it for customs. 55 Bel Air gears with a motorcycle rear end on it. Thunder cycle. Have any Thunder cycle for sale? I don't think I've got any extra Thunder cycles. Trying to think. I don't think I've got any Thunder cycles left. This is you talking about Thunder cycles like these with the riders, correct? Not this one, obviously, but you need the other ones. I've got a few of them. I've got a full set somewhere in a box, but I don't know if they're here or up at the shop. I'll try to dig those out because I do have like the Batman and stuff on them. James, what's up, James? Diecast Nut, I had the crack up playset as a kid, which I still had it. Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed that set. But we'll finish up the last of the crack ups real quick, and then I'll get back over to the chat. So the next one are the F1 Indy cars here, and this one here is the Formulator 1 is what they called this one. And of course the whole top rolled over on it. Made the cockpit, and then whenever it crashed, it flipped over. And then this is the white version. And this one's actually called the Indenter, something like that. Anyway, same difference on those. That's your two different colors on those in that casting. Then we get into another piece. This one has a top that crashes. I'm not exactly what this was. This is like a fantasy car that they made, but the top flips over, kind of like it did on the Indy cars there. And this one here is called the Top Bopper in silver. And then I've got two green ones here. And these green ones are called the Bangsters. And yeah, this was a Malaysia base. And this one is the Hong Kong base. The greens are almost the same color. Do you have a little bit different color on the tampos? You kind of see the tampo sizes. This one's got a bigger V than this one's got a longer V and bigger than this one. But it may be some of the wear too, but there is a little bit of shade difference between the Malaysia and the Hong Kong base. And then I have the red one here. This one's called the Bang Up Job. Flips over there and flips over. The one to look for on this one also is there's a variation of this one out. I meant to talk about it. You can kind of see how much is indented on this green one here. And the silver one had the same thing. But I don't know if I have that variation or not. I have to find all the rest of them. You see how much more indented it is. So that's one. If you're a variation collector that you'll have to start hunting for. Like I said, this is not every variation. This is just an example of every car. Then we get into, I don't know, another fantasy car here. And this one here is called the Side Banger. See if I can get that to rotate there. Same thing, hits on the side there and flips around. Called the Side Banger. Now this one I've actually got in two different colors. On the side there, this is a Hong Kong base. Now, I think it's two different colors in the packaging. Where was the packaged one? Let me see if I can find the packaged one real quick. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, here you go. But you'll notice, well, it's two different. Let me put this one back over here. The blindsider here. It's hard to see. Of course, this one has two different packaging, but they're both got the same base on it. They're both a Hong Kong base. And of course, a little bit yellow, but you can see there's two different colors on the blues, which is pretty wild, or whatever color that is. I don't know if you call it blue, purple, or what, but they're two different colors. A little bit different there. Of course, two different packaging from two different years. You got a 1984, which is this pack, and you got a 1985, which is this pack. Same car, just a little bit different color on the blues. Like I said, on the color swings, you'll find a lot of that stuff in these crack-ups. I noticed that over the years. Then this one here is a Zamac version. It's the same car, obviously, but this one's called the Sock and Roll. And it's a Zamac. Pretty cool. And then you've got the gold version. And I believe this one also was one of the two-pack Stamper special edition, or at least that's what I understand. But I do have one in the package up there, which blows my mind, because like I said, I think it was supposed to have been a two-pack, and it's saying Bang Up Job, which is not this one. You can see there, it says Bang Up Job, which is the same casting. It's just this one, I believe, was in a the 2-pack stamper. And the name of this one's supposed to be called the Basher 2. And sorry, I don't know if I've got a Bang Up Job in the package, but anyway, I don't know much about, but anyway, talked to a couple people about this one. Maybe it just got packaged in the wrong package whenever they were putting them in the pack. I don't know. I thought I might have had. No, I don't have any of those. I don't have the other version that this one is actually supposed to be named after, so not with me anyway. Sorry about that. And in our last few you're going to see here is obviously the trucks. This one is the backbiter. Of course, this is the maroon reddish color. And so anyway, it's supposed to have the top like that. This one does not have the top. I don't think I've got but one loose that has the top on it. And then the last two here, there's actually one more to go over, and we'll go over it in a minute, and it's that one, because I don't know where my loose ones are. And here you go is the blue version. And this one has a Hong Kong and Malaysia base. And you can see the difference in the blues. There's one that's dark blue and light blue. And then you can see that it's supposed to have the camper. It's called the Bumper Thumper there. And this one is actually the Malaysia base. So it's going to be this one. And in the light blue one here, you see the big difference there, is the Hong Kong base. So anyway, those are pretty tough to find with the camper. I do know that for a fact. You don't see those very often. And the rig, the wrecking rig, is another one that you hardly ever see much. And it actually crashes in the front, and the front flips over. So pretty cool piece you don't see a whole lot of. And I've got those loose somewhere. It's just a matter of finding them. So anyway, that's kind of an example of every casting. That's not every variation, obviously, but every casting of the crack ups. So let me get back over to the chat now. Let's get back up here to the chat. I'm sorry, took a little bit of time to go through those crack ups. There are a lot. I'm gonna put this foreign package back up there. I love the mini foreign package version there. And I will go over some shows too here in a little bit. And if we can go over the Beat 16 if y'all want. Just up to y'all. Let me get back to the chats now. So I kind of went over everything that I had laid out already. Let me get back over here. Crack up place. Yeah, it says it had a big tire on the back. I'm not sure. Jason would love it if you'd hit that like button. I appreciate it, everybody, if y'all would. I appreciate that, Rico. Done. Thank y'all. No problem. No, glad to support any way I can. I appreciate it. Yeah, it helps out a ton, believe it or not. Interested in marketing to have different names for each color. Yeah, it was a little different. Kind of neat. Love the ramp truck. Yes, I love the ramp truck too. You don't see it very often. It says times 15 on it. Think that means it was made S15 pickup knockoff. You talking about this? Maybe. It is a square body of some sort. Like a Ford Ranger and a Chevrolet put together back in the day. Fun fact, my first truck was a 83 Ford Ranger. My dad bought new in 83, and then I got it. And then we ended up redoing it, painting it blue. It was white, painted blue. Had 13 subs in that back in the mini trucking days in the 90s. But anyway, ramp trunk I've never seen. Yeah, you don't see that one that often. They did that with the large charge. Named it 3 times, yeah. The mini truck had 3 different names. Mini truck, Sonic Special, and Swing Fire. Swing variation was only in a short card. Now, I don't know if I've got any short card versions of those. 83 Silverado, laugh out loud. Yeah, they're all square bodies, kind of like the Byway, man. I mean, it's unmistakable that that's a Chevy truck, but they kind of just went generic with a unibody design on that truck. But anyway, so I hope everybody, like I said, I hope everybody um, kind of enjoys the crack ups. I enjoy them. I want to get them out and displayed eventually. This is all, like I said, flip outs are one of those things. It's like I've got them all on the foreign package and on the U.S. pack. I've got a lot of them loose. Of course, whenever you find them loose, it's hard to find them in great shape because once they flipped a couple times, they look good, but they've got a few dents and dings in them. And I'm not going to open them because obviously anything that's made it from the 80s to now, it's kind of hard to open. It's kind of like red line cut cards back there. I've got a red line cut card of my Firebird sitting back there. I know a lot of people goes to the shows and they have liberation parties where they liberate a lot of red lines, but I just can't do it, even whenever they're that old and they made it that far. Um, yeah, it would be interesting if they brought back the crack ups. 13 subs. Yeah, I had 13 subs in that truck. That truck was banging. I had the bed cover and everything on there. Too expensive to produce now. Yeah, I think if you made them out of metal, they would be. They probably would go into plastic. You remember they made the ones? I've got a few of them somewhere that crashed up and the whole car turned sideways. I think I've got some over in that drawer over there. Can't remember the name of them. Hold on one second, if y'all don't care. Sorry. See if I can pick one out. I'm almost done. Sorry. I'm coming back. Sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, shoot. I did happen to see a scorcher while I was in the drawer over there. So I'll try to get some of these scorchers together. We talked about that already. Y'all remember scorchers? They were talking about that earlier. And this was one that just happened to be in that drawer over there. I've got map drawers my dad had found at a yard sale years ago. The wooden map drawers full. And they're full of the odd and end. The crack ups were in there. The scorchers, some of those scorchers are in there. This was the car I was talking about that was made. Let's see what year this one says. I don't know if y'all remember this. Looks like 1998 there. But the whole car would hit and turn sideways. I don't know if y'all remember those or not. I don't remember the names of them. It even shows you body damage there on the side of the Ferrari. And the front window on this says Technique. So I don't know if that was what the name of it was or what they were called. But they were like crash up remakes, but they broke in half. I don't know if y'all remember those or not. I think I've got some in the package somewhere just because they were just kind of reminding me of the crack up stuff. So anyway, sorry that's a little tangent there, but something that maybe y'all may not have seen before or may not know about. Mine was an 88 Ford Ranger, but then I turned in a Mazda B220 and the Nissan Hardbody. Yeah, back in the day when I was in high school, we were cutting those B220s and the Hardbodies the coil springs, and then lowering them that way, heating them up. But we was usually cutting them off. Crack ups ran for how long? Yeah, 85, 86, 87. But the packaging, I've got some 84 packaging, which means they come out in 85, all the way through 86, which come out in 87. Mini truck is a Dodge. Oh, the 97 Dodge, yeah. I like the Dodges. You remember the Dodge that come out that was a factory convertible? Thought that was awesome. A lot of people was cutting the tops of them back off in the day, just like they did the mini truck on the Hot Wheel. Somebody said nope. I don't know if that means he was waiting. When I was waiting, like I said, I was mini truck, single cab, regular short. Everybody's talking about the mini trucks, which is awesome. Never seen that one. That's a cool one. Must be 90s, yeah. They were called Crashers. Okay. Technique was an auto company. Okay. Well, anyway, that reminded me of Crash Ups because they were doing the same thing. Basically, they'd hit and the whole car would turn sideways, and you saw the crash there. Something just kind of neat, and it's solid metal, which was pretty cool. For the 90s, they started phasing out just about everything solid metal and put the plastic bases on a lot of stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that's cool. Yeah, I like the Dakotas, the convertibles. Those are cool. Devoom, what's up? 87, cool. Yeah, mine was an 83 um, Ford Ranger. Uh, first muscle car. I mean, the first truck I ever owned. The first car was a 72 Chevette. And had them in high school. And anyway, will try to I'll try to fish up a picture of that Ford Ranger. I've got a picture of it somewhere. But anyway, let's see what we got going on here in chat real quick. Do you have a late 60s Chev? You have a late 60s Chev. I'm not for sure which one you're talking about, Devoon. Oh yeah, the Shelby. Whenever Carroll was with Dodge, he had the Shelby Daytona. Also, that was pretty wild. Do you have a motorcycle? Do you have a motorcycle? I do have some motorcycles. Um, I still got some old motorcycles sitting back here. I've got the Street Eater and the I don't know if these are the motorcycles you're talking about. I got some chop cycles back here. Remember the chop cycles? I like chop cycles pretty good. I never got into collecting them. They were a little bit before my time. Uh, don't want a pickle. So anyway, we can go over some shows. Obviously, we've got a show I just was told about. Before we get into anything else, anybody want to go over the Beat 16? We can go over that real quick too. Um, July 19th at Pike High School in Indianapolis, Indiana. That one's coming up on the 19th of July. I'm going to run over these real quick. If y'all do want to go over the Beat 16, we can. There's a lot of newer guys in here. Here's one in Bartlett coming up November the 8th. And that one's actually a toy show and diecast show. Here's one in Hillbilly Diecast Days. It's going to be a 2-day show. And that's coming up in August 23rd, 24th in Virginia. Got the Nickel Cast show in Chattanooga on August 9th. It's a toy show and Hot Wheel show or diecast show. A couple of shows I try to go to whenever I can. Middle Tennessee Toy Show coming up August the 2nd in Tennessee, Middle Tennessee there. And you've got another one there, and that's the diecast show, and that's September the 6th, which is my birthday. Happy birthday to me. We've got October the 10th, Rocket City Hot Wheelers coming back up. Let's see what we got. This one is in Illinois, and it looks like they have one every month there at Shorewood, Illinois. And I'm trying to think, Cartersville's got one in September the 20th. And then the one I just went from every first Saturday of the month, that KPS Hobbies in Melbourne, Florida. It's an awesome little show. That's what my video will be about this week. And then I'm going to open a bunch of this stuff because I've been having a lot of people talk about opening them. Let's see what it says on there. Yeah, I didn't get through all of them. Yeah, we'll go over the Beat 16. We'll do the Beat 16 right now. July 26, Dandridge. Yes, I didn't go over that one for some reason, but Dandridge is July 26, coming up in 3 weeks. North Little Rock on the 19th. For some reason, I don't know. I thought I wrote that down somewhere. I've definitely got to go and get some of this wrote down. A lot of diecast shows, yeah. Nothing but a thing here. Surprisingly quick. I remember reading Road and Track about it. Yeah. South Carolina, Rico, nothing. Shelby, never been a show. I'm so far away. Now, most of the shows, I mean, every show I go to is over an hour to an hour and a half away at the minimum. Chattanooga show, probably the closest show coming back up. The one in Crossville was my closest show lately. And thanks again, Ricky and Deborah, for the Beat 16 case. Of course, here's our Beat 16 case for our beaters. Most of the shows I go to are 2 hours minimum, all the way up to, well, going down to Florida, going up to Ohio, 6, 8, 12 hours. Of course, we have a place in Florida, so that's another reason I do more Florida shows now. But anyway, got the Beat 16 case for the beaters, and we've got 6 of our first 16. Obviously, the people that's been here a few times know, but there's a lot of newer people in the chat tonight, which is awesome. We're going to the Beat 16 challenge. We're going to put all 16 of the first 1968 Hot Wheels together, and we call it the Beat 16 because we're trying to do it all for under $100. So right now, we've got our fleet line here, and we paid $5 for it. So we got 5 in it. We've got our custom Camaro, which I thought was going to be one of the toughest ones, which always is. Now I paid up for that one for $15. I know that sounds like a lot for what it is, but if you start looking at them, people will buy these for $20, $25 easily and try to restore them. We got our silhouette. Sorry, we got our silhouette here, and we've got $1.50 in it. Here's our Python that we've got $2 in, missing a motor there, but hey, $2 in that one. Another one I thought was an awesome deal. It's got the hood and it's got all 4 tires, is the Custom Mustang, and we ended up getting $5 in that one, which was awesome. And then I also paid a little bit up for this one, which is the Barracuda. It's missing 2 wheels in the hood, but other than that, it's pretty good shape. And we got $10 in that one. So right now, we've bought all these for $38.50, which gives us $61.50 left to get the last 10. Once we get all 16 together, all of them will be in this case, and I'm going to draw on our live here, and we're going to ship it out to one of y'all. One of y'all are going to win it, and I'm going to ship it out to y'all. And so I think that's pretty fun. And that's the Beat 16 challenge. That's where we're at right now. So like I said, whenever I get all 16 together, I will make sure everybody knows, and we'll do a live chat and we'll give them out. So let me see up here. Let me get back to the never been to a show too far away for, says, yeah, it takes, drive 2 or 3 hours a lot of times to get to shows. I do a lot of that. Hickory, North Carolina is the best show closest to me, Rob 3 hours away. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. I sent you their online flyer. Awesome. We will definitely be checking that out. I will check that out. Um, and I'll make sure. Yeah, that's right. You did send me the flyer. I need to write that on my paper so I can mention that. Not a bad beater starter set. I agree. Yeah, we're a lot of people talking about Zarna. Indy Club, July 19th, Indianapolis, Indiana. Not sure if you mentioned that one. That was the one that we just, yeah, that's one I just wrote down, I believe, which is pretty cool coming up. Um, so anyway, but that's pretty much where we're at. Like I said, whenever we get the Sweet 16 together, I'm planning on giving that away to one of y'all here on the chat. DivZoom7 says, "Do you have a rear Hot Wheels car?" Yeah, the 8 ball and the cone shaker is on my list to open of cars to open. I picked up those already. I've got those ready to open there. Y'all was talking about the 8 ball. And I've got a cone shaker over here somewhere. I'm pretty sure. The cone shaker is probably my favorite uh, fantasy cards come out lately. So I plan on opening that. Like I said, I plan on opening a lot of these cards. I've got a bunch of stuff. Got the Treasure Hunt 77 to open on after this next week. I've got the Charger Pink Party car to open. I've got the other Charger here, funny car that we just picked up. A few other cars. Got the Legends Tour of the Combi. Hadn't opened that one yet. So I plan on doing just a full opening video too, um, probably for next week's video. So Jacob, Jacob, okay, great guy. I mean, got to jump off. Great show. Appreciate it, Chris. You'll have a good one, buddy. Haven't found those yet. My name is MJ, um, that's cool. Jacob, I'll call you Jacob. Cool, MJ. My favorite fantasy car from Hot Wheels is the Coupe Clips. Oh, that's cool. And the Carbonator. That is cool. My name is Jason as well. Diecast Car Nut. All right. Cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and unless anybody's got anything else, y'all got anything y'all want me to write down for next week that y'all might want to look at? I've wrote down. I'll try to get together some mini trucks. I've wrote that down, and I wrote down shift kickers and scorchers. Did pull one of the scorchers up right here, and I'll try to remember to get those up. But if there's anything that you want to go over or see more of, put in the comments and I'll try to get it ready for next week or the week after as we can get stuff together. I'll write it down and then throughout the week, between getting the videos done and getting the stuff straightened around, I'm hoping to find a lot of this stuff. Hoping to go back up to the shop before too long. I got to start getting some of that stuff moved. And so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start getting off here. But if anybody, like I said, if there's anything else you want to know more about or see more of, just put it in the um, comments. And if you put it in the comments, I'll try to find it, or you can put it on the show comments, either one, or you can message me on the Instagram or through email, either one. So, but anyway, I hope everybody had a great 4th. Hope everybody's had a good week so far. Hope y'all find some cool stuff. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for coming back and checking us out. Thank you. We'll catch you on the next one.